Hello boys, how are we doing? I hope that you're all doing good. Today your boys wanna help you to get the best out of Rodrigo. This guy is an absolutely insane player for a lot of people. A lot of people who use him, and I'll help you understand. First, we're gonna do a little review on him. Second, I'm gonna tell you how to use him. And third, I'll tell you some alternative or positions where you can use him. If that works, don't worry. One thing I always like to say, tell me down below, who is the card that you're deciding whether to use instead of Rodrigo, or why are you trying to fit Rodrigo into your team? I would like to know. I'll give you some thoughts about what you said when you comment. Third, don't forget to follow, because I will be teaching you what players to use, how to use them, and everything. And by the way, this, in case you didn't see on the title, I spoke to a pro that has used this card on drafts, and he told me how he would use Rodrigo if he had it on his team. First of all, he said that Rodrigo is worth getting him, which is one of the things that a lot of you will be considering. Right now, he's 35k. He has an OTW. He could get an inform. This will apply to his inform as well. Don't you worry. First, he has a lot of pace, which is always good. If you want to use him on the wing, I've seen people use him on the wing. I think engine is the perfect chemistry style, mainly because it boosts balance, it boosts pace. I think in this FIFA, if you have a pacey player and you can use the manual, you know, the L2, when you press these two thingies to make a run yourself, I think pace is cracked for those type of scenarios. Personally, I wouldn't recommend paying 35k for a striker that you're going to use on the wing. He does have a 3-star weak fit, so that's something that will turn off some people. In reality, this year, weak fit is not as important because finishing is more consistent. So no matter how you shoot, you can score. Last FIFA, you couldn't do across goal shots, across the goalkeeper. So you always had to go for near post. This FIFA, you can go for either near post or regular post. So it doesn't matter what fit you use. But in reality, if you are not in front of goal and your back is facing goal, you would like your player to have a 4-star weak fit. So Van Dijk, for example, if you're defending against Van Dijk, he doesn't guess where you're going. Everyone knows with Rodrigo you're gonna go to the left, so be mindful of that. Always try, you're always gonna try and be biased towards the left. Sometimes you can go to the right. Try and do those things. Try and have that in mind when you get Rodrigo as a striker. That's why I prefer players like Richarlison. At the same time, Rodrigo is more responsive. Now, where will I use him? I think he's perfect as a striker to counter his 3-star weak fit out personally, and considering that for a striker he does have really good passing, he does have really interesting passing for a striker. So what I would go as far as to say is pair him up in a 4-4-2 formation as a second striker. I wouldn't use him as my main guy, mainly because of what I said with the 3-star weak fit. Now pair him up with someone that's more responsive. I'm not saying he's not responsive, but he's a bit tall, has low balance. You need to apply finisher to make him into a more responsive card. But if you put him right next to a player like Lucas Moura, a player that's more responsive with a better weak fit, you're gonna be able to do things to your opponents, especially because he can pass the ball, he can do 1-2s easily, he's pacey, he can run in behind, he can be that player that, if you have two strikers, you can have one on something that's called running behind instructions, so he runs in behind the defense, trade up gets a run, you make the pass to him, and then all he has to do is pass the ball for an easy tap-in for your second striker. I think this guy is absolutely cracked for those type of situations. Apart from that, if you're looking for what Chem to use, there are you could think about this. I think finisher is interesting. Like when I spoke to my friend who is a pro, he told me, tell people to use finisher. He has, 95 finishing with it, 92 shot power. I will argue you could also use marksman, because as I said, I don't know how good plus 10 agility is when you only have 79 balance, so you could give marksman a chance. I feel like 90 finishing and 87 shot power is actually decent enough at this stage. You have more jumping and more strength, and the dribbling and the ball control will be higher, so that's something for you to try. I don't know if finisher will make him more responsive or if marksman, which brings more ball control and dribbling, will make him more responsive. Maybe ball control and dribbling are more important for R1 dribbling, the agile dribbling. So it all depends on you to try it, right? After that, perfect as a striker. And Hawk, also interesting in case you want the extra aggression, the extra pace. But I feel like 91 at this stage of the game is great, and more than likely with his informs, he should at least get 1 or 2 informs, at least 1 inform. He will indeed have more pace, so don't worry about that. I feel like his informs are also gonna be quite good and easy to use. Other alternatives and players that I would like you to link him up with, as I said, in this league, I would like you to link him up with like a Lucas Moura as a striker, with like a Richarlison as a striker. With like Richarlison will work as a 5-star weak if he's not responsive, as I said. But at this stage, when I'm speaking, there is not that many options that you can pair him up with apart from Richarlison and Gabriel Jesus, right? So I'll go as first to say either Richarlison or Gabriel Jesus. I would recommend Richarlison because he brings the 5-star weak through Gabriel Jesus. It's more of the same, more responsive, but only 3. And if you get Lucas Moura, then you wouldn't have a right winger, which is unfortunate. I wouldn't recommend pairing him up with anyone with Adama at all. As in, Adama can be the winger, 100%, but I wouldn't recommend using him with Adama. And anything, I was going to say, oh yeah. Yeah, I think that's it for today, boys. Let's just leave it at 6 minutes. Hope it works. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know down below if I should have said something else. If I, forgot to tell you something. At the end of the day, look, boys. With this how to use it, I have not used the card. I haven't. I just spoke to a pro. He told me what to do, what like formations, what type of play style he should be playing in. And as I said, he's also great for counter attack. As I have said before, I feel like not trying him is a kind of like a downside. I could add gameplay. If you guys want me to add gameplay, don't you dare forget to let me know down below if you want me to add gameplay to this. I can 100% get gameplay and try the players to let you know, yo, this chem is better than the other. But for that, I need your support because I'm not going to go ahead and do that if I don't feel like I'm getting enough support for this, if you get me. So yeah, love you all. See you. Goodbye.